in the last 20 months, Mr. Speaker, of trying to make the lives of Kenyan people better. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, this conversation cannot be complete and you cannot have a complete picture. And I know that while Mr. President tried to avoid delving into our past, we know for a fact, Mr. Speaker, that it is the past that informs us of the future. He did not tell the country that he found a tattered economy with only 90 million Kenya shillings in the accounts of Central Bank Kenya, that Kenya was like a baby that had escaped the jaws of a crocodile along River Tana, where Senator Mungatana comes from, Mr. Speaker. That this economy had been battered, had been mismanaged, and things were terribly bad. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I agree with those that have argued before, Mr. Speaker, that in the unfortunate event that this government had gone to the very hands that were managing it before September 2022, we would be worse than Ghana today, Mr. Speaker. We would have been auctioned, we would have been victims, Mr. Speaker.
What is the point of order, Senator Eddie? Senator Eddie, what is the point of order? Senator Eddie, proceed with the point of order, please.
Is Senator Echosi the speaker? Ngoja.
Tikuna wewe leo. Sitatoka hapo.
Press. Use the next one. The next one is working.
Mr. Speaker, I rise under standing order number 101 and 105. Mr. Speaker, you have ruled when a member of the minority side was submitting on this speech, on the content of this speech, and restricted senators to the content of this speech. The majority leader is introducing things that the president did not talk about in this speech. Number one. Number two, on the statement of fact, Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is telling the country that when the president took over office, the national coffers had only 90 shillings. No, he said 90 million shillings. Okay? Mr. Speaker, can he substantiate that statement in the House and tell us a country that was running on 90 million with all the public service components of this country going to trillions of money, Mr. Speaker, is he in order to cast aspersion on our whole country to having been that broke, where the president himself was a deputy president, flying with choppers, driving vehicles that cannot sustain themselves even for a month at 90 million, Mr. Speaker? Is he in order?
Majority Leader, you have made allegation to the extent that when His Excellency the President took over the running of the affairs of this country, at that time, the books of this country were reflecting 90 million at hand. You need to substantiate that. You may either do so right away, or you may do that tomorrow.
Mr. Speaker, I thought there is only one speaker in the House. I am struggling to get your instructions because there is a whole battalion of...
Senator Omogeni, if you proceed in the manner you're proceeding, you'll be watching the majority leader at the lounge. So kindly let me steer.
Mr. Speaker, I want to dissuade you from sending Senator Okongo Omogeni out. These are the few instances he's in the country. So allow him, allow him to enjoy the proceedings of the House. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I will provide...
Yes, Senator Omogeni. Senator.
You cannot let my good friend, Senator of Kericho, to get away with that statement. You know, Mr. Speaker, I took over from Senator of Kericho, and I have looked at his records at the commission, vis-a-vis the times he used to be in this House. In fact, yardstick has always been to ensure that I don't perform as Cheruiyot did in traveling. So you should be the last person to speak about traveling. In fact, we are working so hard to ensure that we don't do the kind of travels he did. And Mr. Speaker, you know, the people of Nyamira know that I'm a very diligent
What is your point of order, Senator Omogeni?
I am challenging Senator Cheruiyot to withdraw that statement he has made, that this is the only time. You heard him say so, that this is the only time I'm in the House. And Mr. Speaker, you can look at the record. I'm always in this House, Mr. Speaker. So that statement by Senator Cheruiyot, who is my friend, is imputing bad motive on my person as Senator of Nyamira, and I'm asking him to withdraw and tender an apology to me, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cheruiyot, you've made assertion to the fact that the senator for Nyamira, for the first time, is in the House because he's always out of the country.
Mr. Speaker,